Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once?
So I first heard that song when I was 7 years old, and I was like, man, that is what I want to be. No, not a rock star, an actual basket case. Thank you all so much for being here. I know how much else there's to do during a global pandemic, so I appreciate you tuning in. I know, you all are all here because you want to hear me tell blind jokes. So I'll see what I can do. I mean, I have them. I just don't know if I can actually, see them. So, but we'll work on it. Just for y'all. All right. Thank you. Because of COVID, a lot of musicians and comedians are doing online performances for charity. So I figured, I'd get into the effort here. I want to pick one near my heart. So I picked my bank account. Y'all can just hook me up on Venmo. The graphic would be right here at the bottom of the screen, but didn't have the budget for that production value. Although I work 2 full-time jobs, I'm really struggling financially. My apartment, it's smaller than the lockers I got shoved into in high school. Yeah, see, this guy understands. Well, maybe we could live somewhere nicer if you contribute to the rent, alright? Yeah, you can't get by your good looks forever. Just ask the girl I dated who's now selling nudes online to pay her bills. Side note, not sure how much it's charging, but spoiler alert, not worth it. I saw that for free, and I'm still waiting for my refund. I turned 35 in just a couple months. Man, wow, 35. Like, I could run for president. Could you picture that? We could have like a loud blabbermouth with no political experience in the White House. How crazy would that be? I should probably start learning how to tweet. I've actually been staying away from Twitter because there's just too much negativity, man. People complain about everything, especially social distancing. Oh, I haven't seen my friends in a year. You haven't seen your friends in a year? Try 4, all right? It was called high school. You're going to be okay. And which is what my therapist tells me. Told me. Just like every other woman in my life, she got sick of my baggage and left. I really appreciated her. She was a sweet girl. She was thoughtful. She was patient. She was understanding. But, at first I was a little skeptical. Our first meeting, she told me, I could be whatever I wanted to be as long as I tried my best, And then she had to give me that stupid cliche of how Michael Jordan didn't make the varsity team in high school as a sophomore. I'm like, girl, have you seen me play basketball? All right, I score less than Clay Aiken at a Playboy party. Yeah. Although I will admit, I did get a lot of hits in my baseball career. Sorry, correction. I got hit a lot in my baseball career. Yeah, if you've never had the privilege of seeing my athletic attributes, let me put it this way for you. I have the reflexes of a cat high in catnip, but it still counts. Speaking of sports, March Madness is back. It being canceled the last year was, the first sign that we had to take COVID seriously. Who thought we'd lose sports before my virginity? Oh, everyone? Oh, okay. All right, guys, put your hands down. All right, it was rhetorical. All right. Jeez, man. No, I'm just waiting for the right girl. I'll know when I found her because she'll say, "Do you want to have sex?" And I'll make sure she was actually talking to me. That's just always been my problem with girls. I just never have confidence and just don't know how to be myself. I remember my first boy-girl party back in 8th grade. My brother, who is and will always be much cooler than me, he helped me get ready. I had a backwards fitted cap, I had an oversized Abercrombie button down. I looked like a total douchebag. So basically an 8th grader. And so I fit right in, despite the fact that I wasn't invited. That awkwardness just never really improved. In high school, I went to prom alone. Still did it up big though, right? Got the white limo with the chauffeur. All right, it was a white minivan and my mom, but I rode in the back seat, so it totally counts. Even now in my 30s, I still have trouble talking to girls. I just can't get comfortable around them. Instead of taking the time to get to know me, they just want to bombard me with questions on the first date. No, I took this girl out, a couple years ago, to a really nice dinner, and right away, It's, what are you looking for? Right now, the menu? No, in a relationship. Oh, that's real simple. I'm just looking for a girl, who wants to hold my hand, so I don't wander into traffic. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5 years, girl, I'm just trying to see like 5 feet, alright? Then she starts complimenting me, which makes me very uncomfortable. You're so thin. How do you watch your figure? Watch my figure? Touch myself? No, not like that, alright? That is a myth. That's not how I got this way, alright? So don't be starting rumors or looks like I'm making out with my phone, alright? And then that's when she starts fishing for compliments. Do you think I'm attractive? I don't know. Let me see. And that's when she threw a drink on me. Well, somebody did. That's just my problem. I can't communicate with girls. Even on the rare occasion when they've shown interest in me, my lack of self-confidence just bars me from going anywhere. Like, every time a girl hears I do stand-up, they're like, oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke. Okay, my life? And I don't get why I have to show off my skills, or lack thereof. It's like if I go off the nurse and I go, oh, so, you're a nurse. Can you show me CPR? Actually, you know what? That would give me some overdue action, so I might have to try that. That's me. I'm just awkward in general. Even right now, I've never done a performance like this before, so having trouble figuring out where to look. It's not about which camera, it's about where's the camera. Deep down, despite my insecurities, I know I'm a good catch. I'm compassionate, I'm loyal, I'm genuine. Although, I will admit there was once when I did date numerous girls simultaneously, but I couldn't deal with the multiple personalities for very long, so it had to end. When it comes to girls, I'm not very picky. I don't have a quote-unquote type. Well, besides those who say yes. But, a lot of people, they've looked down upon me, so I want to give a fair chance to everybody, So I've dated a suicidal, a paraplegic, a vegan. I'm an equal opportunity disappointer. I even dated a girl who didn't like the band The Cure. By Friday, we weren't in love, and it turns out boys do cry. There was an unintentional stretch where I coincidentally just exclusively dated women's studies majors. The only thing we had in common was that we spent years trying to learn about females. The difference is they had degrees to show for it. The only commonality between all the girls I've dated is that most have been diagnosed with mental illness, which, in retrospect, I should have realized when they chose to date me. I am probably offending so many people right now, but I empathize because every day I wake up I offend myself. What I mean is, we have this common bond, this mutual attraction, because I too have been diagnosed with a handful of mental issues. Mood disorder, depression, anxiety, being a Cleveland Browns fan. Actually, within a given year, 26% of adults, 26% will be diagnosed with one mental illness. That's a fact. You can Google it. Do you ever live before Google? I sure do. People could say whatever they wanted to, and as long as they said with enough confidence, no matter how ridiculous, I believed it. The Statue of Liberty is 500 feet tall. Wow. Death Valley gets more rain than the Amazon. Alright. I really like you, but I'm just not dating right now. Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. I would really like to get married one day, but I'm a little worried. Not that it'll happen, I'm very worried about that. No, the part I'm a little worried about is my brother's best man speech. He's my best man by default. Coincidentally, all my other friends are busy, which is weird because I haven't found a girl, haven't asked her to marry me, haven't set a date. So, it's kind of weird. But, no, yeah, I was his best man, he'll be my best man, it's just, how things go in life. And it's hard because, he knows everything about me, and it's obviously all embarrassing because, hello, it's me. For example, The first time I saw a naked girl was the movie Titanic with my mom. Yeah, by the end I was wishing I could go down with the ship. My mom is always coincidentally trying to set me up. Ever since back in kindergarten, she was trying to pretty much arrange a marriage between me and a classmate. Man, I didn't have my cootie shot yet. And you know, a few years later, I saw the same childhood crush, so my mom coaxed me into calling her one day when she had surgery. You know, that's real sweet, right? You know, it's a good move to make. The girl had her tonsils removed. She literally couldn't talk. Now that I've gotten older, my mom's gotten more persistent. A few years ago, she came home and was like, Kyle, there's this really pitiful girl at the gym. You should ask her to dinner. Geez, Mom. Great. How did your wingman for me? Hey, sweetie, are you single? Because I have this really awkward son who still lives at home if you're desperate enough. You know, I really do appreciate her trying, but, you know, she doesn't understand what it's like for me. You know, plus there's a whole disconnect because my parents have been married for 40 years. 40 years. People are always like, wow, they've been together that long? No. Let me clarify. They stay 2 rooms apart at all times. All right? They found the secret to marriage. If you're not by each other, you can't get on each other's nerves. Relationships and dating aren't the only thing my mom and I have a disconnect on. She's also not very tech savvy. She wants the latest gadgets though, you know, and so she buys them, and I have to set them up, then I have to show her how to use them, then I have to show her again, and then I have to show her again. But once she does figure it all out, you know, she's so pumped about it, so pumped. She's always like, Kyle, you need to get an Alexa. You need to get an Alexa. She does so much. You need to get an Alexa. I'm like, Mom, listen, I already have enough girls in my life who do not want to listen to anything I have to say to them. Oh man, my mom. Did you know she sent me to visually impaired camp? Did you know there was a visually impaired camp? I'm not really sure where I'm going with this. I just need to get it off my chest. Can someone just please find my therapist for me? Don't worry, my mom can't get offended by these jokes. Oh, she would be, just she doesn't do social media. Well, except for sending Instagram memes. She'll slide right in your DMs with those. But no, instead of that, you know, she just makes me Facebook stalk everybody. Oh, so what college did your cousin choose? How's your uncle doing? How's that boy you saw at 4 houses down 20 years ago? What's he up to these days? What about me, Mom? All right, I ran out of my mood stabilizers weeks ago. Don't you want to know how I'm doing? You know, I'm doing my best to cope. You know, like most people, I've taken up some new hobbies recently. My main one is cooking. I felt it was a natural choice since most people think I get baked. No, the only thing high about me is my hopes I could one day make my parents proud. Now that went up in smoke. But no, yeah, so I've gotten really into cooking, you know. Not to brag, but got pretty good, right? Haven't had one criticism. It's probably because I'm only cooking for myself, but potato, that's a joke amongst us chefs. No, any of you are welcome to come over anytime. I will definitely cook one of my specialties for you. Chicken nuggets. Obviously the dinosaur shaped kind because I'm fancy. I really like cooking, but I hate going to the grocery store. So I'll just be there minding my own business, and people just keep wanting to interrupt me to ask me what things are, as if I work there. And then I remember, I do. See, I just forget, and it's not because I get high, I don't, I swear, despite what mall security guards think. No, it's because, like, the problem is I forget because I never really saw myself as a grocery store worker. But I guess I never really saw much in general, you know? Sorry, I needed a little bit of a breather there. I've never lasted this long. Asking a girl I've ever dated. Or don't. That's probably a better idea to not do that. Whew. Good thing Maury Povich isn't here. He'd be like, you've claimed you slept with women. The lie detector determined that was a lie. You know how many items we carry in a grocery store? I can't know where everything is. You know, I can help you the essentials, you know, Oreos, Mountain Dew, pizza rolls, pizza bagels, Pop-Tarts. Man, it really does sound like I do get high. But I mean, like sauerkraut, kumquats. Did you know there's a cooking line? I didn't know you could cook with it. I guess it's where my sister has so many bottles, you know. Thought she was cooking with parenting in middle school, or apparently she's gonna be the next Julia Child, I guess. But I mean, like, I majored in education, not food science. I mean, I just learned what a rutabaga was the other day. Yeah, that was a special moment. Well, that's like those cheesy rom-coms when the girl found me trying gossip. I was like, I've waited my whole life for this moment. And we're like, hey, so that's what that is. I'm in the produce department now, but I started off as the pickup manager during the height of the pandemic. You know, a lot of people really appreciate our services, so they kept trying to give me tips. I felt like a stripper, but with self-worth and no drug addiction. Same amount of regretful life decisions, though. Yeah, luckily I wasn't stripping, because if you saw this pasty body, I would not be the only blind one. But eventually things got too stressful, and you know, it was just too much for me, and I realized it was my worst career decision until this. I've had a lot of random jobs over the years. Actually, was a librarian at one point. Still that Dewey Decimal System memorized, you know. Sports, 796, mammals, 599, poetry, 811, my love life, fantasy. And I know. You think that's very on brand, you know, with the thick glasses, the nerdy aesthetic. But, you know, no, never did a lot of reading, you know, except if it had pictures. You know, I was too rebellious to be a bookworm, you know. I had blue hair, you know. I listened to punk rock. I used to skateboard, into cars. Speaking of cars, I've actually been taking driving lessons recently. Scary, right? Yeah, try being my driving instructor. And I use that term loosely because she spends most of her time texting on her phone. In her defense, I'm assuming she's texting loved ones to prepare for the inevitable. But don't worry, you know, I've been super cautious. Like, I'm observant of everything. You know, people, traffic, lights. Did you know how many mailboxes are on my street? I mean, like literally laying on my street. I did not mean to hit so many. I apologize to my neighbors. I'm not the only one in my family with a disability. My baby nephew was born deaf. You know, and that's real hard news, you know, to hear as a mother. So, you know, I want to use my wisdom, you know, my experience to, you know, to help encourage my sister. You know, let her know everything's going to be okay. You know, so I said, hey doc, I said, you know, things are going to be all right. You know, look at the bright side. You won't have to hear mom's 5 stories 1,000 times each. Although I ride on them, I really do love my family. But I think it's a Catholic guilt that forces me to. Yeah, I'm Catholic. You know, I understand other religions as well as atheists and agnostics. You know, I have no problem with anybody. You know, because I think it's really important to really truly think about what you believe in instead of just accepting things blindly. Whoa, sorry. That pun was unintended. Y'all didn't see that one coming. Boom! There's a bonus one for you. Hey. Well, anyways, no, you know, like, think about the stories, you know, you're told when you're little. You know, like, did Jesus really, you know, die and rise from the dead 3 days later? My man could turn water into wine. How do we know we just need to go on a 3-day bender, alright? That would have been a really good Friday. Sorry if I'm all over the place. I have ADHD. Self-diagnosed. I couldn't pay enough attention to finish the test. So I have a weird quirk. Alright, I have a weird quirk we haven't talked about yet. Alright, fine. I have lots of weird quirks we haven't talked about yet, but we're going to go with one for the sake of time. I don't drink. That's weird, right? I mean, I'm from Cleveland. I have plenty of reasons to be drunk and miserable. But, you know, it's not that I have anything against it. I'm just not interested in it. You know, I already have all the effects, you know. Talk excessively, lack of coordination, should not be allowed to drive. But, you know, so I can relate. You know, I can relate to people who drink a lot, you know, especially the next morning when they wake up and they're like, oh man, last night was such a blur. I'm like, yeah, last night, today, your face, whatever that is over there. You know your vision's bad when during the vision exam, not only can you not read the eye chart, you can't figure out which wall it's on. No, my vision's not that bad. I'm exaggerating. Like I used to do on my dating profile. 6'4", muscular, well endowed. a lot of people, they have sympathy or pity, for my vision, but honestly, I'm pretty proud of my independence. I feel I do pretty well for myself. I do feel bad though, because I get in people's ways a lot. And they get really upset, they get really angry and annoyed, and they're like, I can't see, and I go, welcome to my life. Alright, well that's my time. Thanks y'all. Y'all have been great. I guess, I don't know, I can't read the comments. I hope y'all laughed at least a little bit, since the world has not provided us much opportunity this past year. Don't worry, the world will get back to normal, whatever that is, shortly. Then you can go see a real comedian. But, in the meantime, just be appreciative of the people who got you through the dumpster fire that was 2020. I want to give a special shout out to, Kelsey and Gina and Jenny and Jacqueline and April. Man, for not dealing well with women, I sure have a lot of awesome friends. Also, special shout out to JB, Andrew, and Rob for encouraging me to do this. So you can thank them for this dumpster fire performance, not my life. That's my parents' fault. But yeah, thank you all. Keep it safe out there.